Chapter 6. The Treachery. Recognizing systematic defeat and growing desperate, Skarskull activated hidden weapons, violating every tradition of honorable combat. Concealed rocket launchers, positioned during the night, opened fire simultaneously. Not at Goku, who could have dodged, but at spectators surrounding the arena. "If I can't beat you," Skarskull snarled as explosions blossomed among gathered orcs, "then I'll make sure nobody remembers your victory." The next seconds stretched into eternity. Goku watched in horror as dozens of orcs who'd become friends were caught in coordinated bombardment. Grotfang, who'd listened so intently to his Earth stories. Scarjack, whose mechanical arm bore scars from countless sparring sessions. Borkhead, he'd been so proud mastering advanced footwork. They were dying, not in honorable combat, but as victims of cowardice and treachery. Something snapped inside Goku's mind. Not his sanity. His pure heart was too strong, but something deeper. A barrier that had existed since birth. A limit placed on his power by the biological fact that his original universe operated by different rules. That barrier shattered like glass. The transformation began with light, not gentle golden radiance, but something harsh and brilliant that burned away shadows. His hair solidified into yellow that hurt to look at directly. His eyes became emerald flames, piercing through matter itself. But something else was happening, belonging entirely to this universe of endless war. Psychic saturation permeating every atom was resonating with his transformation in ways no mortal should survive. Alien energy threads began weaving through his aura, creating patterns making reality seem uncertain. His power, now amplified beyond anything achieved in his original timeline, was touching forces existing beyond normal physics. This was more than Super Saiyan transformation. This was what happened when Saiyan biology encountered the Imperium, when the drive to grow stronger met a universe where such growth was inevitable for those with will to seize it. The scream tearing from his throat wasn't entirely human. It carried harmonics in dimensions perpendicular to normal space-time, frequencies making watching orcs clutch their heads as ancient stones cracked and splintered. When he moved, it was with terrible inevitability of natural disaster. Skarskull's Chain X simply ceased to exist, contacting Goku's aura. The orc lasted only slightly longer, reduced to component atoms by forces that should have been inaccessible to mortals. But even as his enemy was eliminated, even as hidden weapons were systematically destroyed by ki blasts carving through steel like tissue, Goku found himself fighting a different battle entirely. Power coursing through him was intoxicating, addictive beyond anything in his experience. More than that, he could sense vast intelligences turning their attention toward him, cosmic entities, existing beyond physical reality, taking notice of this unprecedented development. For a terrifying moment, as friends lay dying, and cosmic forces sought to understand what he'd become, Goku stood at a crossroads, determining not just his fate, but the entire galaxy's future. The choice he made would echo through eternity. Chapter 7. Angels of Death. The Imperial response came with the efficiency that had preserved humanity for 10 millennia. The Thunderhawk gunship, Eternal Vigilance, cut through Skerrak's poisoned atmosphere like the blade of divine retribution, its ceramite hull bearing the proud insignia of the Ultramarines chapter. Captain Titus studied the tactical displays with growing unease. The energy readings from the planet's surface defied classification. Power levels that rivaled those of greater daemons, contained within what appeared to be a single humanoid individual. "Brothers," he spoke to his strike force, "what we face today is unknown. The readings suggest an entity of unprecedented power, apparently allied with Xenos forces. We will investigate, assess, and if necessary, eliminate this threat to Imperial security. The Orc encampment they approached bore little resemblance to the chaotic warrens typically associated with greenskin settlements. Instead of ramshackle chaos, they found organized defensive positions and tactical coordination that was utterly unprecedented in Imperial records. This is not normal Orc behavior, observed Tech Marine Varro, his augmented sensors recording everything. Someone has been teaching them strategy and discipline. That was when they encountered the source of the anomaly. "You guys are new here," came a voice from behind them. "Oh," Goku said, raising hands peacefully while studying Space Marines with genuine fascination. "You guys are incredible. I can sense your power from here, and it's like nothing I felt before. The energy patterns in your bodies are amazing. Are you some kind of enhanced humans?" Captain Titus faced a situation with no training precedent. "Identify yourself. By what authority do you consort with Xenos? Why do you show no fear in the presence of the Emperor's warriors?" "Well, I'm Son Goku," he replied. "I don't really have authority. I'm just trying to help my friends learn to fight better. As for fear," he smiled with genuine warmth. "Why would I be afraid of fellow warriors? You seem like good people, even if you're a bit intense." "Fellow warriors?" Sergeant Cassius stepped forward, veteran instincts detecting something significant. "You claim warrior status appearing unarmed and unarmored? Demonstrate your capabilities." Instead of words, Goku gestured toward a massive chunk of twisted metal that had once been part of an Imperial defense platform. With casual motion, he launched a small golden energy sphere that struck debris and reduced several tons of reinforced metal to component atoms in a flash of light. "I don't like to fight unless I have to," he said as echoes faded. "But I've gotten pretty good at it over the years. Though I have to say, you guys feel stronger than most opponents I've faced. This could be really interesting." Weapons, lowering slightly in surprise. The demonstration was impressive, but what truly concerned Space Marines was the complete lack of visible effort. This individual had displayed firepower rivaling their chapter's most devastating weapons, while treating it as casually as breathing. "Where did you come from?" Titus demanded, tactical mind racing through threat assessments. "What is your connection to these Xenos? How did you acquire such abilities?" "That's complicated." Goku's expression grew serious. "I'm not originally from this universe. Someone wanted to get rid of me, so they sent me here. The Orcs found me when I crashed, and instead of fighting to the death, we discovered we had a lot in common." He gestured toward the organized encampment. "They're good people, in their way. They love challenges, they're incredibly brave, and they're loyal to their friends. I've been teaching them techniques from my home, and they've been teaching me about how this universe works." "You speak of Xenos as if they were human allies," Brother Chaplain Castor interjected, skull-faced helmet lending menace to his words. "This borders on heresy. The Orcs are enemies of humanity, creatures whose existence threatens the Emperor's plan for the galaxy." For the first time, Goku's expression showed something other than curious goodwill. His voice carried weight, making several Marines take involuntary steps backward. "I don't know much about your Emperor or his plans," he said quietly. "But I know that judging people based on what species they are instead of who they are as individuals is wrong. My friends here fight because they love the challenge, not because they want to cause suffering. If your Emperor can't tell the difference between warriors and monsters, then maybe his plans aren't as perfect as you think. The blasphemy should have triggered immediate bolter fire, but before anyone could act on righteous fury, reality itself paused as a presence beyond physical form made itself known. "Stand down, my sons." Every Space Marine immediately lowered weapons and dropped to one knee. They knew that voice, had heard it during darkest trials, moments of greatest need. The voice of the Emperor himself, speaking directly across impossible distances.
Fascinating.
The presence continued, seeming to emanate from spaces between thoughts.
A soul from another reality entirely, carrying power that resonates with forces I have not encountered since the earliest days of human psychic evolution.
The Emperor's attention focused on Goku with intensity bending reality around it.
Tell me, warrior from beyond the veil, what do you see when you look upon my children?
Goku studied the kneeling Space Marines, enhanced senses perceiving layers of modification and conditioning going far beyond genetic enhancement. "I see people who have given up everything they were to become something greater," he said slowly. "Their power is incredible, but it comes from sacrifice. They've traded individual identity for collective purpose, personal desires for absolute loyalty. It's impressive, but also limiting."
Elaborate.
"They're so focused on serving you that they've forgotten how to grow as individuals. Loyalty and dedication are important, but when they come at the cost of personal development, when they stop people from becoming the best versions of themselves, something valuable gets lost." The Emperor's silence stretched for long moments, as he processed concepts challenging 10,000 years of Imperial doctrine. Here was a being who had touched powers beyond normal comprehension, yet remained not just uncorrupted, but somehow strengthened by the experience.
Dangerous thoughts,
the Emperor observed finally.
"In my reality, individual growth is a luxury humanity cannot afford. Every moment spent on personal development is time not spent fighting forces that would see our species extinct."
"Maybe," Goku acknowledged. "But in my experience, people fight better when they're fighting for themselves as much as others. When they have personal reasons to grow stronger, individual goals to reach for. Your warriors are incredible, but strength without personal purpose has limits." The debate might have continued, but it was interrupted by disturbances that made previous discussion seem trivial. Across the wasteland, reality began to bleed.